we're back live on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Another Saturday going down in the books, and another guest. If you're just tuning in, be sure and catch. If you missed the first couple segments, be sure and listen tonight from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Or get the app on the go, or catch this. It starts about 10, 20 minutes after the radio show starts on YouTube, on all of our social media accounts. There's links to just search RTM Roofing YouTube, and you can catch it there if you're in a spot where you can't get anything else, or need to go back and see Doc's face for radio. So sitting here with Doc Hollywood, extraordinaire, I'm gonna call you, and we were leaving and talking about a day in the life of not hanging out with Luke, but
show day,
being up on a show day.
Yep.
And you just brought up something that during the last segment that you're in charge of. I say in charge of the hospitality, quote unquote, of the opening acts.
Yeah.
So if I remember right, I think you told me one time you decide if they get their rider or not.
Yes, I can say no. Yeah,
people, I'm taking $50 donations. I can get you what you want if you're on the road with them. But
I'm not real harsh about it. There's some things that we just can't do. You can't do a charcuterie platter for 3 different people.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. Yeah. No personal stuff. So majority of them's not bad. I just have to go. I have so many because we have 3 opening acts again this year, and then we have 3 more, and there's a total of probably 12 total artists. So I have 12 riders I have to go over and go through and call them and say, what do you actually need?
Yeah.
We're
not giving you the camel on the beach and the sand.
That's right. Yeah. And so I have to cut them because there's just no way you can fulfill all of it. And they're all have been really, really nice about it. And some of them are really nothing.
Have you ran into, and you got to mention names, but have you ran into acts where you're like, I don't care if I ever work with them again?
There's a few probably, yeah. I'm not.
No. You don't.
There are some.
I'm just curious.
Well, it's the biggest thing with me is that there's some that don't appreciate. I guess that's the biggest thing with me is like hey, thank you. A thank you goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
And then just little things like that. Just should be appreciative of stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was about to say. Opening acts, be happy you're there.
Well, I mean,
be happy you're there.
You should see some of these people's riders that's out there that they ask for so many pages of stuff, and then they get it, then they don't even touch it.
Oh, exactly.
And that is a big thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's so wasteful, but I understand them asking for it. But if you're going to ask for it, then take it with you then, or use it.
When I was on the road, and especially thinking back when I was with Bear Jr. out touring, the one thing I never thought that you put on the rider that is the biggest of them all is water. Water. Cases of water. We need 4 cases of water. Like 4 cases of water. Wait till after the show and you're driving down the road.
Yes.
And you got, you're on the bus for 8 hours, whatever it is. And
case or 2 of water for every rider.
They're gone before you get to the next
What I do
show.
is that they order a bunch of water for us, and then they'll put it with our catering company that's on tour with us. They'll put it somewhere by the kitchen or something, or it might even be on a pallet or something.
Right.
And so I just go and tell all the opening acts, like, look, here's the water. Help yourself to it. And then that way they can go get whatever they want for their van.
Yeah.
A lot of them are still in vans.
Oh, yeah.
And then what is that? The one that's a step up from a van. It's kind of like a cargo type thing.
It's like one of these bug out vehicles. It's like a bug out vehicle looking thing. But
before a bus and stuff. So I'm always really good about having plenty of water for people.
No,
because that is the biggest thing.
And you
don't realize how fast 24 bottles ago when you got 7 or 8, maybe even 10 people in your camp
that normally don't drink water.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know what I mean?
But when they leave the venue, they don't have it. So that's why I'm like, go take that, get you some of that.
Yeah. No, it is good.
Yeah,
sitting here.
That's a good point. That's a good point, like you said.
Sitting here with Doc Hollywood, live on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Doc Hollywood extraordinary. I think last time, one of the times we talked, I think we figured out how long we've known each other, and it goes all the way back to like first grade or kindergarten or second or something?
I think it was second grade. I think it's what we come to.
It wasn't kindergarten. I think it was second.
I think it was second grade because I think we determined it wasn't kindergarten. So, so we've known each other since we was in second grade.
Yeah. And
so that would be, let's say, I'm 53, so probably about 51 years. 51 years.
Well, we're both Blue Raiders. Go MTSU.
Yeah,
go
be
blue.
Proud, be loud, be blue.
That's right. And what How do you think that, because their recording program, is one of the top in the country, if not the top in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How do you think that treated you, getting you where you're at today? Or do you remember?
Well, it was difficult for sure. It did help me out in a lot of things, and I think actually just the experience about going and being around other people that was wanting to do what I was wanting to do at the time helped out a lot. And the professors there was really good about talking to you, and if you had questions, they was real good about answering them. It really doesn't. It doesn't prepare you for what you're going to do once you get out. It's all about, like you talked about earlier in the early segment, is that it's all about work and doing it instead of, like graduating and then you go get a job. It's like you're not going to know all these people and you're not going to know how to do everything. Yeah. But it gives you that piece of paper. It's a nice thing to have. Yeah. I went to school. I had to pay for it on my own. And I paid for it, and I'm actually doing what I went to school to do,
which is unusual for a lot of. And you think about it, the recording studio down there, or the recording program, has the ones I know spit out a lot of good people. It's spit out Brent Rawlings, front of house Kings Leon. Yep. Spit out Chris Raybolt.
Yep.
Who's been with Lady Gaga and everybody else under the sun.
He's been with a bunch.
He started with Widespread.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Him and then there was Jeannie.
We had classes together. Yeah. He would go and work for Widespread for free.
Yes.
That's what he would do.
Yeah.
And that's how he got his foot in the door.
Last time I ran him was at Bonnaroo when I was picking up JoJo.
Speaking of Bonnaroo, NTSU sends out a newsletter, every so often. Well, the last one that I got, so they have their own video truck now, and they go to Bonnaroo, and they actually have students there that are going out and filming the shows at Bonnaroo and then sending them back, and they're actually making stuff up. So they're like, so they're getting experience out in the field because of this technology that they've bought with that truck. So these kids are out there actually doing stuff that they may end up wanting to have a career in.
That's real world experience.
That's real world experience.
I always say lexic instead of dyslexic. You can give me the book, and I'll figure it out eventually. But you show it to me, and I've got it. That
it's a big difference.
So you can go to the class and learn about XLR cables, learn about whatever, learn about latency, learn about this and that. But until you're in the real world applying that, that's where the experience is at.
That's correct.
Because it's not always the book.
No.
I mean, how. We were joking before we started today that, because I was still setting up some things in the studio, this and that much like a lot of shows, a lot of concerts, if you ever really notice, they're still putting it together 2 seconds before it's live.
Before showtime.
No matter what time you get there. You ever notice y'all load in at 7 in the morning in some town?
Yeah.
Your show's not till 8 p.m.
9:30.
9:30. But I'm saying the opening acts.
Your opening acts, gates, doors are usually 5:36, and then we have 3 opening acts.
So it's all day.
It's all day.
And you'll still see them running.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're all day. They're doing sound checks, too.
Yeah.
The opening acts are doing sound checks and, wrapping cables, anything.
Well, that's what I mean, the whole production.
Even the build up to when we go on stage. I'm still working, doing stuff, trying to get stuff ready for the show to start.
What do you do during the show?
I usually sit on the side of the stage and just do anything that needs hospitality-wise. And usually there'll be some of the open acts will come up and sit up there, and I might go get them a drink or something. And then at one point, I'll have to go from where I've ordered after-show food. I'll have to go out and meet the runners that come back with the food and put all the food on all the buses for everybody and distribute that. So it's showtime really for me is, It's not really, there ain't a whole lot to do. Something, you have your spurts,
calm in the storm.
The calm in the storm, I do our margarita gig. I take that and take that out to him.
Hang on. I was going to ask about that. I didn't know if you was going to get that. So what is this I hear about Doc Hollywood? Because the picture I've seen, and I'll let you carry it from here, but the picture I've seen is where they had a runway. Yeah, that goes on out in the crowd.
The thrust.
Is that the thrust? Is it called the thrust?
It's a thrust, yeah.
That's for the stadiums, or is that in the arenas too?
That's in arenas and stadiums.
So that's just the stage.
And because normally with amphitheaters, there's not enough room to put a full thrust.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll do like a
quarter thrust.
I mean, no joke. Yeah, right. It's just something small. Sometimes there's not enough room to do one at all.
Carry on. Give us the moment. What's happening right before this goes down? What are you doing? And then walk us into what happens.
So what I do is I look at the set list, and then I'll be like, okay, there's the margarita song. Okay, so I go and I get this big our big margarita glass, and I put margarita mix in it, nice, and I have lime cut and put them on the side. So then when the song gets done before that, they start the song, and then I'll walk out, and then sometimes he'll take it, or he'll be at the end of the thrust, and I walk it down there to him and give it to him. And then there's times that we dance when I give it to him, or he'll throw limes at me or squeeze lime juice at me. Or then other times I just give it to him and we don't do anything. So it just depends on, what's going. It depends on the mood, I
what
guess.
Kind of tequila? Does he have a tequila? I know he's got a beer, doesn't he?
Not.
Does he have a beer?
Used to have a beer.
Used to have a beer.
Okay. We
We
don't have tequila.
Okay.
He don't have his own tequila.
So is it really just margarita mix in there?
It's just margarita mix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more of a gag. It's what it is, because I can't be giving alcohol out to somebody in the crowd.
Oh, fair enough.
So that's why I don't do that. Yeah. So it's just that old cheap margarita mix that you make.
No wonder you throw stuff at you. I'd be whole mad. Like, put something in that. Come on now.
Well, that's in the side cooler that we sit on.
Yeah, that's funny. But so sitting here with Doc Hollywood, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on SuperTalk 99.7. Sitting here, as I mentioned, Doc Hollywood extraordinaire, longtime friend. Here comes the break anyway. So I was going to say, when we come back, we're going to talk a little painting, and we're also going to talk a little Doc Hollywood and a little bit of I Hate Valentine's Day, since that's coming up. And for those of you that know, that KYNOW or whatever they always say, if you know, I know about it. I recorded it. May have to play it. Well, I'll play that when we go do the back on the strip here May 3rd. But anyways, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Sitting here with Doc Hollywood. Come on back.